Hello, this is Johnny Henson, Professor Poole with Billiard University out of Phoenix, Arizona. In this lesson, I want to talk to you a little bit about something a lot of my students ask me. In other words, like, uh, what would it be like to, let's say, shoot against, one of the best players in the world? And we all have our favorite players. It could be Shane, it could be Corey Deuel, it could be a lot of people. So your favorite player is your favorite player. But what would it be like to play against your favorite player? Well, this is something that you can do that is going to be a lot of fun because a lot of players never have a chance to actually compete in a tournament against, let's say, a top ranked player in the world. Number one is you have to pay a big entry fee, and there's probably certain tournaments you can't even get in unless you're basically a professional. Because they don't want any easy matches. They don't want one pro having to play, one of the top 20 players in the world, and another pro having to play somebody that probably don't even really have a chance against him or her. So what I'm saying is this is something that you can do, and this is fun. And because statistics change, and players, sometimes are hot, sometimes they're not, you know. So what I would like for you to do is maybe go on YouTube and bring up a match. Pick out one of your favorite players, and just during the course of maybe one match or maybe even two matches, and if you really want to get carried away, kind of watch three matches and average what they do, because maybe they play different against different opponents. So anyway, this is an example of things that you need to jot down. Like most pros are very, very good at lagging. So let's say that you are not a very good lagger. Well, then there's a very good chance you're not going to get the opening break. Well, there's one strike against you, in a real match situation. And then a lot of the top pros now, there's Fargo ratings, and those Fargo ratings are, up in the 800s. I would imagine that given an open shot at the table, most professionals are probably at least, 8 out of every 10 racks are going to run that rack. I mean, I would say that would be pretty well spot on. So you're not going to get a lot of extra chances. In fact, I watched many a match on YouTube because I follow certain players, and especially like in a race to five or shorter races. I mean, sometimes it comes down to. Sometimes it just comes down to the lag. I mean, I watched one match where neither player missed at all. I mean, and so basically, but you got to know that there's going to be at least maybe one miss, or maybe a dry break, or maybe somebody is hooked after the break, or they scratch, or something happens. But for the most part, there's a reason professionals are professionals. But anyway, getting back to the task at hand, let's say that you are wanting to play, let's say, against a Shane or against a Corey Deuel or against a player of your choice. Then what I would like for you to do is maybe watch three matches, write down their statistics, like how many times do they make a ball on the break, or how many times did they break and they run, okay? Um, um, how many times do they maybe dry break, or don't finish the rack, and all those percentages are going to be high because they're professionals. But on your given player that you're looking up, those are going to be your statistics. Now, what you're going to do is take those statistics, and what next time you go practice, you're going to say, okay, the thing of it is I'm going to lag, and if I'm not within, let's say, 6 inches of the rail, then I lost the lag. Okay, that's being honest. Okay, and then then you're going to say, okay, I'm going to break and run, and I mean they're going to break and run. Let's just to say we'll just say a race to 10 because it makes simple math. Let's say that they're going to break and run 8 racks out of 10. Let's just say your pro is going to run 8 racks out of 10. Okay, that means every time it's his break or her break, that your 8 out of the 10 games that you're going to play against this person are going to be table runs. fact, I would always like to say keep the ones that are not going to be table runs till the end of the match. And so basically, what you're going to do is you're going to break the balls, and you're going to try to run the racks that you try to run. Now, let's say you miss and you leave an open table. Well, then that's pretty much another table run for your opponent. So basically, what this is going to do for you is let's say that you're a pretty good player, maybe you're a really good league player, maybe you're a tournament player, and you really want to know kind of how would I really do against, let's say, a really top notch opponent. Well, then this tells you where you're at on the pecking order. I mean, in fact, if you could play a mock match against your top level pro, and let's say in a race to 10, if you could find out if you could find a way to even winning 7 games when your mock opponent got 10, you'd be you'd probably you yourself might even be pretty close to a low level pro, because that's how good you would have to play in order to do that. And oh my goodness, and if you start getting up to where it's 8 to 10 or 9 to 10, you might as well get your pro card. Okay, but what I'm saying is this is a fun way of doing it. It's not going to cost you anything. It's going to cost you a little bit of time. And then as your game improves and as you play these mock matches, let's say the first time you played against your favorite professional, let's say let's say in a race to 10, because it's simple math. Let's say that you lost 10-3. Okay, well then you practice, you work on some stuff, and then you play another mock match, and you lose 10-5. My goodness, that's a huge improvement, huge, you know. And when you start getting up to where you're playing these mock matches and you're winning 6 when they win 10, you're a pretty darn good player. You're probably not the player that the person is going to want to play in the league or the local tournament, because let's face it, professionals are professionals, and they're good at everything. I mean, I tell people most pros don't really have a lot of weaknesses. They may have certain areas of their game that they're greater at than others, but if they really have any serious weaknesses, they're going to be working on those weaknesses every day, because they can't afford to have those weaknesses. And so, anyway, I hope that this lesson is going to be something that my students can use. Like, let's say they come to me for private lessons, and they're improving on some certain things. Well, then playing a mock match against their favorite professional maybe once a week, twice a week, is a good way to keep on track and make practice exciting. And so, anyway, I just want to appreciate your time in watching this. I hope this has been helpful to you. And just one more thing, if you ever need an instructor, look up me, and I'm out of Phoenix, Arizona, and I'd be glad to help you with your game. I do private lessons, and I do 3-day seminars, and most of my students I have a lot of fun with me, and I have a lot of fun with them. So anyway, well, good luck to you, and good shooting.